What's up, guys? It's Olive Badger here. I'm trying something a little new today. I'm gonna go over some news stories that I have seen this past week. Let's see how that goes. First up, looks like a steam machine or the Gabe Cube has some leaks regarding price. Now, it is important to keep in mind that these are leaks and rumors, and they are unsubstantiated, but I've seen a lot of people talking about them. For reference, when I say unsubstantiated, it links to a Reddit thread that has been removed, so probably not. But just in case, what they say here is that Valve announced the Steam Machine officially last year, positioning it as a powerful PC that you can plug into your TV and run Steam from. It's expected to be 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck and boasts the following specs. Woo! And runs SteamOS, which is awesome. Here it says a Reddit user, so take that for what it's worth, took to the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit earlier to share a post from a Czech retailer, which appears to have leaked pricing for the Steam Machine. So again, as it says here in the article, please be aware nothing has been officially confirmed yet, so do take this with a pinch of salt. They're claiming that for the base 512 gig model, it'll come out to roughly $950 USD, and if you want the 2 terabyte model, it'll be roughly $1,070 USD. Now, again, the reason I bring this up is because what I'm seeing online is a lot of people are just stating the price and then getting all scared and saying, I don't want to buy it. But it's just a rumor right now. As you see here, Linus Tech Tips previously speculated the Steam Machine could cost a minimum of $602 to manufacture, could be sold at around $700. Unfortunately, with the RAM availability issues that we are seeing, it is possible that the increased price isn't completely out of the realm of possibilities. Who knows? Maybe we'll be lucky and Steam will just decide, or I guess Valve will just decide to manufacture their own RAM. Probably not, but you never know. Next up, we see here that AMD Ryzen chief teases return of older Zen 3 chips to fight soaring RAM prices, claiming that that's something we're actively working on right now. So in this article, it says proverbial news cannon that is CES is firing new products on all barrels, but every now and then there's a stray remark that makes our ears perk up. In a roundtable interview Tom's Hardware attended at CES 2026 in Las Vegas, AMD's David McAfee was discussing the sorry state of the ongoing chip crisis, and he let out a hint that AMD could bring back older AM4 desktop chips, presumably the 5000 series Ryzen processors and APUs based on the Zen 3 architecture. Now, I don't actually think this is a terrible idea per se. I mean, there's no reason you can't run a really solid PC if built properly on the Ryzen 5 series. You also don't need DDR5. You can actually do quite a bit on DDR4. In fact, my PC is running DDR4, and I did that intentionally because I needed to build a budget PC, but needed it to be able to do gaming and other such stuff. However, I don't like the idea that due to industry practices and AI and RAM shortages and all this other BS going on right now, that I can't build a PC with DDR5 or can't use a more powerful processor if I choose. So, kind of bugged about that. But I do understand what they're trying to do. Hopefully this can get resolved where we don't have to go back on our specs. We don't have to regress. Whatever, we don't have to go backwards in our technology. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll end up with, like, I don't know, China might get into the business of making RAM, you know. And in the long run, I think this is just a really bad idea that all these businesses are betting so heavily on AI. I mean, AI is going to eventually reach a cap. There's only so many data centers you can build. There's only so much that AI can do. I mean, we're already getting into peak AI slop era anyway, so it seems very short-sighted to kind of, I don't know, hurt the consumer in this way. Again, it's just leaving the market open for someone else to come in and build reasonable and affordable replacements for consumers. But speaking of, you know, AI and AI slop, PlayStation patents AI assist feature that can take over if you get stuck. So patent documents filed by Sony show plans to offer an in-game AI ghost that can demonstrate how to progress further, or alternatively, have your control fully taken over by the AI in order to make progress for you. This is insanely stupid. I mean, one of the very real benefits of gaming is being able to problem solve and strategize. I mean, what about, like, actually trying to figure stuff out for yourself, or researching different options, or looking up guides, or, you know, for me, my husband is a very good gamer and I'm not a very good gamer, so I can talk to him and ask him for help creating a better strategy or being able to get out of a mess that I'm stuck in. But I would never hand him the controller and say, do it for me, which is essentially what this is doing. I think this is a very stupid idea. It even goes on further here, saying some solutions have included the use of a character that a user can follow. Sony wrote in the patent. However, the character is usually a graphic image or outlined image of a prior player that played the game, and the user must follow the character watching the moves that occurred, including moves and interaction that is not relevant to the user's current gameplay scenario. This is not, however, very useful for real-time assistance to a player that is encountering some difficulty with a specific scenario of gameplay or along the player's specific gameplay path. This is because the character does not know specifically what the player is playing or the context of the user's gameplay. Further, the character is typically only performing actions of one prior player. Further yet, the character is only presented for general game scenarios that relate to the game, not in relation to the context of the player's current gameplay. Sony has suggested that its AI assistant system will be able to track player progress on a more granular level, so the AI would be able to detect exactly what someone might be looking to achieve at a particular moment. So we can just remove even the idea of thinking of how to solve problems, just rely on the AI. That sounds great. Let's not. And we can look here on X. Some of the comments are great. Gay. It looks like people don't understand the benefits of rage quitting a game after your 10th try. AI can just play for you and you watch, huh? Sounds like a thing we used to call movies. The children are forgetting the ancient text. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Don't blame Clank for this. He did nothing. No reason for this to exist in a video game. Get better or don't play the game. Exactly. More AI crap, though. Copilot could soon live inside Windows 11's File Explorer as Microsoft tests chat with Copilot in Explorer, not just in a separate app. Microsoft is testing a new feature that integrates Copilot into the File Explorer, but it's not going to be another Ask Copilot button in the right-click menu. This time, Copilot will live inside File Explorer, likely in a sidebar or details preview pane-like interface, according to new references in Windows 11 preview builds. I don't like this. I don't like this at all, because obviously we're moving even more and more to always online for our PCs. In order for AI to do what you need it to do, It's also going to scrape your data and send it up to a server. We already know that stuff's happening, but you're going to lose more and more and more privacy, which drives me insane. And AI is extremely resource heavy. So now that we're running into these issues where RAM is more expensive and processors are going to have to, roll back to some earlier models, we are also having poorly optimized and more resource heavy integrations into our operating system that is near impossible to turn off. Like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. This is extremely stupid. Now, what I think is very funny is Dell actually came out and admitted that they are disgusted by PCs stuffed with AI features. I don't normally like Dell as a computer company or manufacturer, but I did actually like this take. The tech industry's insistence on cramming AI into virtually every aspect of their consumer-facing offerings, from apps you can't uninstall to hallucinating assistants that nobody asked for, has been nothing short of insufferable. Tech enthusiasts and average consumers alike have watched helplessly as software and hardware they rely on to research, work, game, and keep in touch have turned into testing grounds for unproven AI tech, often without their consent. That's the big, I hate this so much. Like, there's nothing you can do about it if they decide to shove it in your stuff. Like a mouse. Why do you need a mouse with AI? Whatever. It says, thankfully, vendors are finally starting to pay attention. As PC Gamer reports, Windows PC maker Dell admitted at this year's CES that things have really gotten out of hand. No shit, Sherlock. Their executives are willing to even say the quiet part out loud, that nobody is scrambling to buy an AI PC, stating, one thing you'll notice is the message we delivered around our products was not AI first. Dell's head of product, Kevin Terwilliger, said during a pre-CES briefing, as quoted by the publication. So a bit of a shift from a year ago where we were all about the AI PC. We're very focused on delivering upon the AI capabilities of a device. In fact, everything that we're announcing has a neural processing unit in it. But what we've learned over the course of this year, especially from a consumer perspective, is they're not buying based on AI. He admitted, in fact, I think AI probably confuses them more than it helps them understand a specific outcome. So basically, people are not seeing it as a selling point. They're not going to buy a computer with AI. In fact, I'm sure if they did even more research, you'd find more consumers are going to be turned off by AI, like this neural processing unit. I don't want to pay more money for that. I don't really want that on my PC. I want the option to say no to this altogether. I don't like it. And if you look here, references to preview builds point to chat with Copilot and detach Copilot in File Explorer. Right now, Copilot in File Explorer shows up only when you right-click Files and the Copilot app is installed. However, now Microsoft wants Copilot to appear within File Explorer rather than redirecting you to a separate app. This will make Copilot feel more native in File Explorer. That's pretty good. Jesus Christ, please stop. Just stop. And this right here, it's already in Paint. Microsoft Paint needs Copilot. Seriously. I'm going back to Windows 10. Had enough of this shit. Sorry if you can hear the dogs barking. Nothing I can really do about that, I guess. Anything but making the file search function. This is just making everything so much worse. Like, I love Linux. Extremely tempted to swap to Linux. We'll see. It said here it's already in Microsoft Paint. And to make it even better, Gmail is taking the first big step into the Gemini era. Say hello to AI Inbox, AI Overviews in Gmail, and so much more. It says right here, Gmail launches AI Inbox and Overviews with Gemini. Google has been sneaking in its AI assistant Gemini into Gmail for some time. Now, Gmail is apparently entering the Gemini era officially with an inbox assistant, according to a blog post by Gmail's VP of Product, Blake Barnes, published yesterday. One feature Gmail is launching is AI overviews, which summarize information in your inbox, apparently building on the already launched auto-generated email summaries. AI overview can also be able to answer questions about what's in your inbox, but this feature will only be available to Google AI Pro and Ultra subscribers. This is just lovely, right? We already get ads in Gmail. We already have Gmail running very slowly. Now we're going to get AI shoved into Gmail. Regardless of what we want, you know what AI is going to do, right? It's going to scrape all your data so that it can then be harvested and sold to data brokers so they can make even more money off of us. And if that's not enough, you really, really want the AI features, you gotta pay for more. Like this is just insane. This is just ridiculous. I hate this. And there's no real way to opt out of it. You can't just tell Google or Gmail that you just want the bare minimum, right? You don't get to do that. Oh, an AI inbox analysis happens securely with privacy protections you expect from Google, keeping your data under control. Yeah. With another story we'll end up going over here today. Data leaks and security, especially now that we have AI coding a bunch of stuff. Yeah, things are totally secure. Rainbow Six Siege, anyone? Instagram, anyone? It's no thanks. Make it so we can turn this shit off without combining all our inboxes. That'd be great. I don't want your AI trained on my private emails. If I opt to switch it off, I lose all the auto sorting into the categories. Can you allow me to switch off your AI snooping and retain features I've had? See this, exactly this. Good news. Good. Now shove it down their throats. Oh my gosh. Just give me email without the bells, whistles, AI. Tech companies are tone deaf. We don't want AI. Everyone disliked that. I pay for Gmail and I hate this. Please turn it off. Yeah, it's just getting bad. It's all these companies are integrating AI and no one wants it. No one wants it. Like AI works fine if I decide I want to use it as a tool, but I should have the right to decide if I want it. I should be able to decide what it has access to. And realistically, it works best as like a note taker, or something like that. This is stupid. We're getting dumb. I hate this timeline. Which, here's another issue we run into with an over-reliance on AI. Cops AI-generated police report claims officer turned into a frog. Let's read this because I found this to be very entertaining. An AI program built to write police reports went wildly off script after it claimed a Utah officer had transformed into a frog. The bizarre error surfaced in December when the Heber City Police Department in Utah tested a new artificial intelligence tool designed to cut down on paperwork. Instead of delivering a clean incident summary, the software generated a report stating an officer had shapeshifted into an amphibian. Now, if a person were doing this, they'd be able to discern that people don't turn into frogs. The police officer probably didn't turn into a frog. Police later discovered the system had accidentally pulled dialogue from a Disney film playing in the background during the body camera recording. Again, a person would be able to discern this. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with running something through AI quickly, but you always need people like this. This should be a tool for the person that's actually doing the reports, not replacing a person. This is just stupid. The AI report writing software picked up on the movie that was playing, which happened to be The Princess and the Frog. That's when we learned the importance of correcting these AI-generated reports. You should always be doing that. Like, what the fuck, people? Like, come on. The department began trialing 2 separate pieces of software early in December, Draft 1 and Code 4. Code 4 was created by George blah, 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 blah. Both 19 described as MIT dropouts. I mean, that's cool. That's cool that they're able to... Like, I'm all for people creating software. I'm all for AI being able to help offload work, especially things like reporting. But this idea that you can completely replace humans and that they are relying so much on it, like they caught this inaccuracy because it was so obvious that a police officer did not turn into a frog. But what happens when it's something that's less obvious? You know, I don't like that. Police and security organizations have increasingly turned to AI for report drafting, facial recognition, and surveillance assistance. However, automation errors continue to raise concerns, and this isn't the first time AI has caused problems for policing. In 2025, AI security software mistakenly flagged a student and claimed his bag of Dorito chips was actually a firearm. A separate incident involved an innocent man being arrested after an AI system incorrectly identified him as a banned casino patron despite providing a 99% match. As such, human oversight remains essential, something Keel made clear following the frog fiasco. But these are just things that we're able to prove, right? These were obvious mistakes. Yeah, unfortunately, people got arrested for a second, but again, what happens when it's much tougher to go through and figure out? Now, as funny as this is, because this is hilarious, it's also a little dystopian, and I don't love it. Which, another problem that AI probably caused, Instagram data leak exposes sensitive information of 17.5 million accounts. A significant security breach has compromised approximately 17.5 million Instagram user accounts, exposing sensitive personal information that is now circulating on the dark web. The incident, reported earlier this week by cybersecurity firm Malwarebytes, raised urgent concerns about user privacy and account security. So, what data was exposed? The breach encompasses a wide range of personal information that could put affected users at serious risk. Comprised data includes usernames, email addresses, phone numbers, and physical addresses. This combination of information makes users particularly vulnerable to identity theft, phishing, and social engineering. Yay! Lovely. The availability of this data has already led to real-world consequences, with multiple users reporting receiving legitimate Instagram password reset notifications, a clear indication that threat actors are attempting to hijack accounts using the leaked information. Exposing email addresses and phone numbers linked to Instagram accounts creates opportunities for targeted phishing campaigns. And they want more identity verification. They want to keep more of our private information just to access this stuff. Cyber criminals can use this information to craft convincing messages that appear to come from Instagram or Meta, potentially tricking users into revealing passwords or other sensitive credentials. The seller, identified as Subkek, claims that data was freshly scraped in the last 3 months of 2024 via public APIs and country-specific sources. Exposed fields include username, full emails, phone numbers, and partial physical locations, with sample records visible in the listings. Users who suspect their accounts may be affected should immediately enable two-factor authentication, change their passwords to unique and complex combinations, and remain vigilant for suspicious emails or messages claiming to be from Instagram. And then there was an update. Instagram has officially addressed the concerns about suspicious password reset emails sent to some users in a statement posted on X, formerly Twitter. I do think it's funny they didn't post this on Instagram. Maybe they did. I really didn't check that much. But we fixed an issue that let an external party request password reset emails for some people. There was no breach of our systems, and your Instagram accounts are secure. You can ignore those emails. Sorry for the confusion. Instagram emphasized that no security breach occurred and their systems remain intact, meaning user accounts and data were not compromised. The company advised users to safely ignore the password reset emails, apologizing for any resulting confusion or alarm. I'm just going to say, I really don't trust that nothing happened. First off, because companies don't ever want to take accountability for these types of issues. And second, How did they get access to the email to send the password reset emails? Obviously, somebody has some information that they shouldn't have. That's just great. And it's very possible that the exploit relating to, probably the API, in order to request the password reset, you have to have access to an email in order to set that up. But that was probably coded either by an AI or company deciding not to do proper security checks before things get pushed to production. Anyway, I'm actually doing a deeper dive into this and what this means, because it's so much more than just like Instagram, right? Like, we're seeing more and more and more of these types of security breaches and data breaches and exploits and hacks and stuff, and governments are pushing more and more and more to have you upload more of your personal information, claiming that it should be protected. Like, this is a big concern. I am doing a bigger deep dive into that, so keep an eye out for that. Oh, and this is the update here. Next up, Star Wars. I have seen a lot of people talk about this, but I wanted to talk about it anyway. Because basically, in the new Star Wars trilogy, what everyone really wanted to see when we heard that Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher had signed back on is we did want to see them on screen together. Didn't necessarily expect these old people to be like kicking ass and taking names, but we wanted to see them together. We wanted to see Han and Leia with kind of like their happily ever after, together raising children, like in the EU. We wanted to see Luke Skywalker as, an actual Jedi Master training the replacements, or training Padawans, not replacements, sorry, and like passing the torch off to the new characters that would continue the series, continue on with Star Wars. And that's not what we got. So, what happened? Well, in the sequel trilogy, Harrison Ford, at the Hollywood Reporter's first Actors Roundtable of 2026, Mark Hamill and 5 other actors were asked which living actor they would like to work with. Hamill was quick to respond, saying he would have liked to act alongside the sequel trilogy's Harrison Ford, as he never got to reunite with the Han Solo actor in the Star Wars franchise following Return of the Jedi. Saying, well, in the sequel trilogy's Harrison Ford, because I only had 2 cameos, I said, aren't we going to have a moment where all 3 of us get together and raise the roof? It'll only take like 30 seconds. And J.J. Abrams said, well, Mark, it's not Luke's story anymore. I said Star Wars wasn't Obi-Wan's story, but Alec Guinness had a crucial commitment, Anyway, nobody listens to me. Hamill was also right on a narrative level. He pointed out Star Wars was never strictly Luke's story or Obi-Wan's story, but an ensemble myth where veteran characters guide the next generation. Alex Guinness's Obi-Wan played a pivotal role without overshadowing Luke's arc. Bringing Star Wars' original trio back would have only reinforced the sequel trilogy's passing of the torch, instead brushing Han, Luke, and Leia aside in the name of focus ultimately weakened the sequel trilogy. And I agree, even when you look at the hero arc or the hero's journey, in the original Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi played a pivotal part as somebody that mentored Luke in the beginning, and as part of the hero's journey, the mentor always has to die, so Luke could have still died, Han could have still died, things could have still happened, but it wouldn't take away from the passing of the torch and from Rey's quote-unquote story, if you want to call it that, or her lack of character development, to give these special moments of having the 3 of them on screen. I think it points to the fact that J.J. Abrams really didn't understand the fandom, didn't understand the IP that he was working with, and didn't appreciate the fans. So, I mean, let's see what the comments here say. Everyone who's a Star Wars fan wanted that, perhaps the worst mistake in cinema history, and costly too. This one decision destroyed the franchise. I agree. Well, Mark, it's not Luke's story anymore. Does anyone actually remember the names of the new characters they tried to introduce in those films? They had Luke Skywalker, who saw the good in his father after he committed mass genocide and literally destroyed entire planets, almost killed a sleeping child because of a dream. Yeah, like that. That was bad. I mean, ignoring the fact that they bastardized all the characters that they brought in, they ruined Luke, Han, and Leia. They could have at least had them on screen together. Honestly, the entire movie could have been Luke, Han, and Leia reuniting for a Christmas party. It would have been better than what actually made it to the screen. Oh, I love that. I love that. Remaking that. Oh my gosh. I cannot for the life of me understand this type of thinking. You literally had Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher, who sadly died, by the way, so you can't even redo this, in a Star Wars movie together for the first time since the 80s, and the thinking was, it doesn't matter, it's not their story anymore. I like to pretend these movies don't exist. Yeah, pretty bad. But, hey, at least Kathleen Kennedy is possibly stepping down. I mean, what is the 4th time we've heard this rumor? Maybe it'll actually stick, but it says Kathleen Kennedy's future at Lucasfilm has become one of 2025-2026 most talked about entertainment stories after more than a decade as president of the Star Wars franchise under Disney. She needs to go. Multiple reports suggest she may step down even as she publicly pushes back on retirement rumors. Amid succession planning and speculation, fans and industry watchers are closely watching how this leadership shift will affect Lucasfilm's direction. So supposedly, if the 72-year-old Kathleen Kennedy, who has destroyed Lucasfilm in her 14 years as president, she would transfer leadership to Dave Filoni and Lin-Wen Brennan. I don't know who this is, Lin-Wen Brennan, but I know Dave Filoni is essentially just KK's cuck, I guess. Like, I don't know. He's just going to continue whatever her vision is. So I don't know that it's necessarily a good thing. Like, I would have preferred anyone else, really, to come back. Like, people that actually like Star Wars more than their allegiance to Kathleen Kennedy. But I don't know. Her stepping down could still be a positive, I guess. Yeah, up here it says, update, Kathleen Kennedy reportedly stepping down in favor of the overrated Dave Filoni is not what you think. She'll likely stick around at Lucasfilm as a consultant in order to make sure Star Wars remains a complete joke. Exactly. Because what has Dave Filoni done that was sticking up to Kathleen Kennedy? Not really much of anything. Even if she didn't stick around, Filoni isn't going to save Star Wars regardless. Exactly. They released this Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down, being fired story every 4 to 6 months since Last Jedi was released almost 10 years ago. I will believe it. When the woman has actually left, Dave Filoni would be an awful replacement as his live action content has been meh at best. Dave Filoni is a male Kathleen Kennedy. Exactly, guys. So if it happens, who knows? But I don't know that we're really going to get anything better because there's not really a lot of faith in Dave Filoni as a replacement. This I thought was a cute little heartwarming story. I guess some people don't like this news. I don't care. Good Boy Dog actor Indy wins Best Performance at Astra Film Awards. The dog actor behind the horror film Good Boy has taken home a major acting honor, with Indy the dog winning Best Performance in a Horror or Thriller at the 2026 Astra Film Awards. The award was presented to Indy and his co-stars in Los Angeles, California on January 10th. The award recognizes performance across horror and thriller releases, making Indy's win a rare moment for an animal actor in a traditionally human-dominated category. Good Boy is a psychological horror film that centers on a man and his dog as they become isolated in a remote home, with much of the tension driven by the dog's reactions to unseen threats. Indy's performance plays a central role in building the film's atmosphere, relying heavily on expression, body language, and sustained screen presence rather than traditional dialogue-driven storytelling. He's just such an adorable dog. I am a sucker for a dog. And I know, like, some people are super pissed because it didn't go to a human. I don't care. These awards are mostly jokes anyway. I think it's cute. Because guess what? Indy won the film award over a strong slate of human nominees in the category. The dog actor beat Alfie Williams for 28 Years Later, Ethan Hawke for Black Phone 2, Alison Brie for Together, Sally Hawkins for Bring Her Back, and Sophie Thatcher for Companion, making Indy's win one of the most unexpected results of the night. I personally love that. I love that. The dog is adorable, and it makes me happy. Next up, with Godzilla Minus Zero confirmed for North American theatrical release on November 6th. I am so excited. I loved Godzilla Minus One. I cried. My husband cried. We both cried, which sounds so weird for a stompy Godzilla movie, but Minus One was so good. I know there's a good chance that Minus Zero is not going to be nearly as good as the first, but if they can just bring, like 2/3 of the magic back, it'll be a slam dunk. But knowing Takashi Yamazaki, he's gonna give it his all. We're gonna get something just truly magical with a Godzilla movie. But what's the article say? Toho and G-Kids have officially locked in theatrical dates for Godzilla Minus Zero. The new film will open in Japan on November 3rd, 2026, with a wide North America release following just days later on November 6th, making a rare near-simultaneous rollout for a Japan-produced Godzilla feature. The November 3rd release date carries clear historical weight. It is the same day the original Godzilla debuted in Japanese theaters in 1954, a date now celebrated annually as Godzilla Day. How cool is that? The choice also echoes Godzilla Minus One, which opened November 3rd, 2023 in Japan, and went on to become the highest grossing Japan-produced Godzilla film worldwide, earning more than $116 million and winning the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. And guys, if you haven't seen the movie, they deserved it. They deserved the award for Best Visual Effects. They made that movie on less than $15 million. I hear people all the time saying, oh, the budget was 15. No, it wasn't. The director said he wished he had $15 million, which means he produced this movie on less than that. It had such a powerful story. The effects were amazing. They deserved that win. Anyway, Godzilla Minus Zero once again brings back Oscar-winning filmmaker Takashi Yamazaki, who returns as director, screenwriter, and yes, VFX supervisor. Plot details remain tightly guarded, but production is currently underway at Toho Studios, with Robot producing the visual effects handled by Shirogumi Inc. The project was first announced in November 2024, with its title revealed a year later during Godzilla Fest 2025. Guys, I am so excited. I am so excited for this. I think it's going to be fantastic. Doesn't mean it'll be perfect, but I think it'll be fantastic. Also, I saw this. Game Freak's Pokemon new action RPG Beast of Reincarnation. New gameplay to be revealed at Xbox Developer Direct on January 22nd. A Souls-like action RPG set in post-apocalyptic Japan, featuring plant manipulation combat and a human-dog duo. I don't know, guys. I think this kind of looks cool. I'd be excited to learn more information about it, because I mean, this could either be really, really good or just epically suck. I mean, Souls-like games are a little overdone for me. I don't love them all that much, but with the right kind of story or just the right uniqueness about it, I definitely would give it a shot. And this looks cool. But what do you guys think? Do you think this looks cool? Do you want to learn more information about it? Because that's just my thing. Is it looks interesting enough that I want to learn more. I want to see what is happening with this on January 22nd. Definitely want to learn more. LOL, it looks like a pretty good game. This looks insane. So is this proof they make Pokemon games look like shit on purpose? Yeah, this here, like, I'm getting Souls-like fatigue. That's true. That's true. But yeah, you can take a look at it here on Steam. Like, I mean, that looks cool. It's pretty. I like the dog. I think that's cool. That's interesting. I think it's pretty. I think it could be pretty good. It says in post-apocalyptic Japan, humanity's last hope may rest with Emma and her loyal canine companion Ku. Explore what it means to be human in Beast of Reincarnation, an expansive one-person, one-dog action RPG built around demanding technical combat. What awaits at Journey's End? And yeah, it is a female protagonist, so I could see that bugging people. But I mean, she's not ugly. They actually did a pretty good job with her character. Like, she looks really good. So who knows? Like, we'll just have to see. We'll have to see. I definitely want to get more information about this game. I'm not going to get too excited over it, though. And lastly, guys, some sad news. On January 10th, Guy Moon, the composer behind the Fairly Odd Parents, Two Stupid Dogs, Cow and Chicken, Ned Declassified School Survival Guide, Big Time Rush, Back to the Barnyard, and more like Danny Phantom, has sadly passed away at the age of 63 from a car crash accident. Posted by his family, says, "We are overcome with grief to announce the passing of our beloved patriarch, Guy Moon, who was killed on Thursday in a traffic collision. We feel singularly blessed to have been able to call him dad and husband. As we stand together at the base of what seems to be an insurmountable grief, we are emboldened to grieve him with honor and courage with the tools that he equipped us with in his beautiful life. He has left an unmistakable legacy and will be profoundly missed by us, his family, and countless others whose lives he impacted. We are tentatively planning to celebrate his life on his birthday, February 7th, in the Los Angeles area, and again sometime after in his hometown in Wisconsin. We will make details as we plan. Together we remain the Moon family." And that's just so sad. So sad to have somebody so impactful taken relatively young and kind of out of the blue. Now, I really feel for his family, and I think it's good that they're going to plan a celebration of his life. I like this post. It is a testament to Guy Moon's talent that I almost never saw him in my time as a director on Fairly Odd Parents. What I mean by that is this. I never once felt the need to direct him because I knew he would hit it out of the park every single time, and he did without fail. He was our Carl Starling. His compositions were an integral part of the show's character. My heart goes out to his family and friends. May his legacy provide us with his signature jazzy, upbeat rhythm in our hearts forever. Is our childhood dying right before our eyes. This is heartbreaking. Guy was an absolutely unbelievable talent with an unmistakable style. I'm speechless. It's very sad. Very sad. And I wish I didn't have to leave you guys on such a sad note. But hopefully his family can find peace and solace and remember him as he lived and be able to hold on to his work. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Like to hear from you. What do you think about AI? What do you think about Microslop? As they're all getting upset over us calling it Microslop, but they keep shoving AI and stuff. What do you think about Guy Moon? Any of the stories here resonate with you guys? Just let me know. Any big news stories that you think I missed that I should cover? I want to try and do this every couple of days. Just pull some stories, kind of put it out here. Might change the format. I don't know yet. It's kind of new. And I'll continue making videos as well. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out and bye.